happy Saturday. Is it Saturday? Happy Saturday out there. Normal live stream that I do almost every Saturday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Last Saturday I didn't do one. That's why I say almost every Saturday. Hey everybody. Hey Kathy. Hey Tristan. Josh Norco, welcome back. Yes, Imperium DSC, Greg Levinson, nice to see you again. Yo, James, Gary Carter, nice to see you guys. Appreciate you coming back for another live stream. I've been doing live streams as long as they have been a function. I think they started on Facebook. If anyone's been around as long as me, I think you can agree or come back and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Are you sure about that? No, live streams I think started on Facebook, was the first one to use that function. So I remember doing some live streams before Marty Music had launched, and I only had a Facebook page for a minute there as I was starting up Marty Music. And I started doing live streams there and was trying to tell people to come over to Marty Music when it launched, etc. And so that was that was 9 years ago. So thank you for coming back again. I've got a little beginner soloing bundle that's for sale. So check out that link, that pinned link there. And Josh Norco, thank you so much. Appreciate you. So yeah, if you've ever wanted to play lead guitar, I know personally, I just started with cowboy chords as a hobby and even said out loud, well, I'm never going to solo, or, I'm never going to play any lead guitar, so I'm not going to learn any scales ever, because I just have fun with the basic open chords. And then I had a friend, that played guitar better than me. I said, all right, well, just show me that one little blues lick, because I'm curious, not because I'm going to actually ever play lead guitar, much less electric guitar. I just played acoustic. And so that's kind of how it all started. And I've been playing for over 30 years now. And if you just think, honestly, it's a great way to go about learning guitars, like just learning tiny little achievable pieces of information and you keep stacking them. The next thing you know, for me, it's now been over 30 years. They go by and you're like, oh, wow, okay. So at the time, I couldn't see the growth, but I just kept adding these little things along the way. And then next thing I know, it's been 30 years and I can play guitar solo, which I never thought I would do when I was first playing. So I've got this little bundle that's for sale, super affordable. I made it even cheaper than I was going to because of the economic uncertainties. So I made it even more affordable for you guys, and it'll show you what I think you need to know to become a lead guitar player. But I'm going to give you a good example right now of like a way that you would do that. And once again, thank you for supporting Marty Music. I've been doing YouTube videos for 17 years, almost the entirety of YouTube existing. Well, pretty much, yeah. From the very beginning of YouTube existing, I had been making content. It's just no one knew those first couple years, and I wasn't trying to do it for an audience. So that's another reason why I say 17 years is like how long I've been doing it, where I was trying to reach an audience of strangers out there, some of which are not strangers anymore. But before that, I used it as kind of like my own personal video hosting platform. That's kind of how people started using YouTube in the first place. And so I was a private guitar teacher, and so I had some students who weren't practicing enough, and so I started making little clips at the end of our guitar lesson, and then just putting their name in the title, and then I would tell them I'm gonna check how many views the video got, so I know that you so if it got 5 views, I know that you watched it 5 times. So that's what my big brain, how my big brain was working. And speaking of big brain, if you notice, my hat's bigger this video than any videos before. It's like an inch or two, the brim is an inch or two farther out. So, you know, and I'm 50 now, so I think when I'm 60, if you'll still have me here, I'll come out another 2 inches. And then when I'm 70, I'll come out another few inches. So the hat's going to keep getting bigger. No, shout out to Bellissimo Hats. It's this really high-end, you know, really nice hat company. Sent me a couple of hats, and they're nice and fresh and crispy. So I thought I would, you know, put the fresh hat on. Okay, so let me play that little progression I was playing there. It's just, I love this chord. It's the E7 sharp 9. It's in Purple Haze. It could also be called the Hendrix chord. And so I'm on the 7th fret A string, the 6th fret D string, the 7th fret G string, and the 8th fret B string. What's fun about that is you can get the open E in there. Then you can do either a G power chord or a G major chord, and then up a whole step to A, power chord or major chord, and that's basically the verse of Purple Haze. But it's a good little context for playing a little lead guitar. I won't play. I'll try it. Let's see. I'll play it slow because the idea is kind of more beginner soloing. So, just like anything, when you start learning something, I talked about this in a video. It's like my most popular video in like a year. Like just a hair of clickbait in the title, but I think why it was popular is because the thumbnail and title is a little clickbaity, but I fulfill the clickbait by, you know, fulfilling the promise of the clickbait, and I think that is why it did well. It was like, beginners, stop doing this, which is really, I see it so many times, and especially since there's so much information out there now. You know, someone's a beginner and they immediately want to learn, like, you know, Nothing Else Matters, or, you know, the Purple Haze, but they've never done all these other little things that will help them. You know, they're not taking all the steps to get up to that advanced thing. They just want to start with nothing and then start trying the advanced thing. It's just not the way to go about it. So lead guitar is the same way. If I have a progression like that, and in my newer soloing for beginners course, but check out that pinned, you know, the pinned comment right there, beginner lead bundle. It's, you know, it's like the foundation of, if you ever were curious or wanted to learn lead guitar, it's super discounted right now. You can get that right there, cheaper than one guitar lesson. You get, like, you know, it's probably like 20 hours of instruction in there. And you got to start real simple, right? Yeah, you have scales that you would need to learn, but check it out. I'm in the key of E, so I could just literally play the open high E string and play a solo. And now it's, you know, if you can clap a rhythm or go la 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 la, you know, different rhythms just with no notes, no musical ability at all, but maybe a hair of rhythm, you can immediately play a solo. ladies and gentlemen, the one note solo, right? So where do you go from the one note solo in a songa? If you're jamming a songa, you've got one note to solo with, it's a great example of then it being more about the feel and the rhythm, right? Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just looking at your comments. I'm going to look again. Matt is not here today. He was actually nice enough not to show up because he's got 3 little kids at home, and in the last like 6 months, it seems like about every three weeks one of the kids gets the like pukey stomach virus thing, and then it spreads out through his whole house. So he's in another one of those. So thoughts and prayers for Matt and his family as they fight through another stomach virus. But thank you, Matt, for not coming. My kids are adults. I don't get those. I don't have to deal with those stomach viruses coming home from school anymore. So I'm really lucky for that. But anyway, check this out. I can do the 2-note solo, the open high E, and then the 3rd fret. And once again, when you limit yourself, if you limit the notes, then now you're just talking about the feel, the rhythm, the dynamics. And also, even more importantly, the space that you're not playing. That's most of the term phrasing and even rhythm is what the spots where you're leaving space to create that counterpoint to the notes that you are playing. Greg Levinson, for instance, doesn't have the stomach virus today, but he says, love these Saturday live streams, so inspirational. Greg Levinson, you've been supporting for so long, I really appreciate it. And then on top of it, you just gave me $10, which, by next week, that will, $10 could get me, almost get me the smallest coffee at Starbucks. So thank you for that. Really appreciate you offering that. So what? Once again, check it out. 2 notes, open high E, 3rd fret, and then the space that I'm not playing. 2 notes only. Now, if anyone's seen anyone ever seen a good Neil Young solo? Or even better, let's talk about Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain didn't know one note he was playing. He was great. He was a true artist, creative, right? Being creative is more important than theoretical knowledge, having that, that genius creativeness in your brain is better than, 10 years of music theory with no creativity. Having a combination of both is even better, probably. But if you looked at a Neil Young solo or a Kurt Cobain solo, it was zero. Didn't even matter what note they were playing. It was pure feeling with zero technical knowledge or theoretical knowledge of the right note or anything else for that, right? And what did it do? It moved you. So you can try and find a combination. Hendrix had that, but then also did have the blues and scales and whether it was just his ear or music theory, whatever, he had a combination of being able to have that fire and that feeling, but also the combination of the scales and the notes, right? So that was literally the 2-note solo. And, you know, just try and crank your volume up as much as you can on your computer, because, you know, the more I try and add microphones and stuff to a live stream, the more complications happen. I can scoot up a little bit so you can hear my voice a little more. Anyway, I appreciate you. So here's another thing. I'll go up here to the same scale, minor pentatonic, E minor pentatonic, but up here an octave up. So those are the double dots right there. The 12th fret is the double dots, so that means that the open string's E. And if I go to the 12th fret, that's E again. If you do want to do lead guitar, get that bundle that's for sale right there up in the pinned comments. But you can learn for free from a friend or from many videos I've done on YouTube as well. So I'm not forcing you, but I would appreciate it. But there is a certain amount of just technical practice that you would want to do, and that would be definitely the minor pentatonic scale. So ultimately, the feel and the rhythm is going to be the most important, but if you combine it with some technical stuff you practice, that's ideal. You put those things together. So you could have 12 to 15 on the E. And yes, if you're wondering, my hat is bigger today by a couple inches. And then 12 to 14 on the A. Captain Dogbone said, "Whoa, since when do you stream?" Since streaming ever existed, I've always streamed. You just haven't been here. So Saturdays at 1 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Central time, and what would that be, 5 o'clock Eastern time? I think so, or 4 o'clock Eastern time? I don't know, 1 o'clock Pacific time, because I started this whole thing in California. I'm in Nashville today. So 12, 15, and then for the next 3 strings, 12, up a whole step to 14 like this. I just played that thinking about something I'm going to show you in a second here. Okay, so I'm still here. Still here. I quit for 1 second. I'm back. So then on the B string, back to 12 to 15, and on the high E string, back to 12 to 15. No one starts shredding a solo. They start at the very beginning, just like everybody else. But that same idea, we're going to do a 3-note solo right now. And what I recommend you do, I'm going to show it to you, but you can type in, whether it's on like streaming, like Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, or you can go onto YouTube. You just type in backing track in E or slow blues in E. And you can do this. The root note would be the 14th fret D string. And how many great soloists sit on that one note? For a bit, right? So that's the 14th fret D string. Well, we're going to add the 12th fret of that D string. So 12 and 14 now. That was 2 notes only. 2 notes. So did I sit and shred across the whole fretboard? No, I did not. Did I even go on more than one string? No, I did not. Did it sound like a solo? Yes, it did, I think. I think it did. Now, more notes would be great, but if you can make feeling out of more limitation and get some feeling out, rhythm out, dynamics out, expression, I think that's a great little exercise. Then add a third note. And here's the third note I think you should add. We're going to do the 12th fret G string. So that would be 12 and 14 on the D string. But then 12 on the G string. Now, out of those 3 notes, 1 note is the root, meaning if I'm in the key of E, the note E, that is our tonal center. Our ear hears that as the center, how everything else is relating around it. So, you know, it's like the lead singer. The root is like the lead singer. Everything else revolves around it. And they also don't have to carry any gear in or help out with the gear or anything. So yeah, that's the root. But you need the supporting notes to make that root sound good. I've used that analogy before. I've been teaching guitar for over 20 years, and I don't think I've ever used that analogy. So let's mark this down. April 12th, 3:26 Central Time. I used an analogy I've never used before. And also, why not shout out my mom, who's watching, and hopefully she's watching this very second. Let's just give a shout out to Mom. Her last name's not Schwartz, but let's just say Marty's mom, happy birthday. She had a birthday yesterday, but let's just give Mom a shout out birthday wish. I wouldn't be here without her. She is the reason I'm here. My dad had something to do with it too, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, the 3-note solo, Happy Birthday Mom, and a band that inspired me to actually kind of want to play music. One of them, when I was a teenager, was Blues Traveler in the 90s. Shout out to Blues Traveler. But the only reason I'm segueing to that is, well, 1, it's bluesy, but 2, I got to see them in concert, like, I want to say I was a senior in high school, and I bought a t-shirt back when you were a teenager, buying that t-shirt at the concert merch, that was a big deal. So I bought a Blues Traveler t-shirt. I wish I still had it. I don't. But the t-shirt said, "We would like to personally thank your mother." That's what it said on the t-shirt. So I always thought that was kind of clever. Okay, back to the 3-note solo. 12 and 14 on the D string. And then 12 on the G string. But that 14th fret, this is where I go back to talking about the root note. The 14th fret on the D string, that's the root. So that note is like how you would resolve your phrases. So we have 3 notes to work with, but it'll feel most resolved on that 14th fret D string. All right, so just to mix it up, I'll change the rhythm here. Happy birthday, Marty's mom. That's nice. She'll like that. She'll like that. And I wasn't there. I'm in Nashville. She's in California, so I wasn't able to be there for her birthday. I'm gonna make it up to her. Someone said, why is that the root? Well, it's about what you're playing it over. So if I'm playing a blues that's in the key of E, the E note is the music. Did that sound like resolved? That's the root, it's E. So if I'm playing and I want to play a scale to solo and improvise a solo, then I have to be in the key of the music. The music's in E, so the scale will be the E scale, the E minor pentatonic for blues playing. Thus, the E note in there, which E's are all over the guitar, they're here. They're all over the guitar, happens to be right here. 14th fret of the D. So it's really the key, the music you're playing it over. I played blues in B. Right? I'm not in E anymore, so the B note, I have to know how to plug it in, but that's the resolution now. Let's go back to E. I'm going to play a little peppier blues. Then I'm going to do just the 3-note solo. And by the way, if you're digging this really approachable concept to starting to improvise lead guitar, I have a whole course. I don't even know how many hours it is, but I know it's over 10 hours of instruction like this. We've been going for 30 minutes, so think about, you know, this times 20 or 30 information that you can play over and over again for the price of half of a guitar lesson. You can get that only for a couple more days in that pinned comment right there, and it's got PDF tablatures and all that will go with it, and it'll take you through all this stuff. I'm just giving you a little taste right now, but you can get it for less than one guitar lesson at a guitar shop, and you get it for life. You can rewind it, you can play it. No one's judging you during it. You know, that costs more. If you want me to judge you, you're gonna have to pay more for that. If you're into that kind of thing. I know some people that are into that kind of thing. Not naming names. Anyway, I'm gonna play a little more peppier blues thing, and then I'm gonna do the 3-note solo, which is gonna be the 12th fret D, 14th fret D, and then the 12th fret G. And that's way better than going, okay, I'm gonna learn all the shapes of the pentatonic scale, which you should do at some point, but I'm gonna, you know, play all these complex things that this guy told me to learn first. No, let's take it all away and just do 3 notes and make an expressive improvised thing with limitation, then add things to it once we can do that. So here's a little groove in the key of E. So that's the little thing I use with the looper pedal. Once again, 12 on the D, 14 on the D, and then 12 on the G. Now, I've been playing a long time, so I can add these little microtonal bends like vibrato, microtonal. That adds a lot of vocal style phrasing to it. Here we go, 3 notes only. I'm going to use my 30 years of over 30 years of playing guitar to make a solo with 3 notes. But the idea is still the same if you've only been playing for a year, or you've been playing 5 years, but you've always just done rhythm, and you never thought you were good enough to play a guitar solo before. So could you hear how I almost could play the Pride and Joy vocal melody? I couldn't play it exactly. I needed more notes. But with 3 notes, I could pretty much play a song with those 3 notes. So I'm going to do that again. Once again, only 3 notes. That was 3 notes only. So I'm just going to add 4 notes. I'm going to add that 14th fret G. Hey, AMKT, a $40 super chat. That will get me, what is that? Will that, do they, well, they will be only selling probably 3 packs of eggs. So $40 should get me 3 eggs. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that. No, but so anyway, we've got the, and even though I said it's 4 notes, it's actually 5 notes, because I'm going to that 14th fret G string and bending it. So that's another note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So while we're there, eggs are a flex. Eggs are a flex. Slick, you want a shout out? Slick, you got it. Okay, so now I'll just do the whole scale that people like would tell you to learn first to solo, but you could see that I was able to do it with just 1 note, then I was able to do it with 2 notes, then I added a 3rd note, then I added a 4th note. Well, here's what happens when you learn the whole scale, which is still just 5 notes that repeat in an octave. It's only 5 notes. Now, if you have been playing a little while, and you know that minor pentatonic scale, definitely add the blues note, which would be if you're in that 12th fret root 1, it would be adding this little it's just one little chromatic passing tone, which would be the 13th fret A string. And then that same little passing tone would be on the 15th fret G string. And so I highly recommend you practicing that whole scale, flowing up and down without stopping in triplets, which if you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're playing 3 groups of 3 notes per beat of that 4 count. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, or triple a, 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 as opposed to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, instead it's triple a, triple a, triple a, triple a. How's that bluesy feel? Triple a, triple a, triple a, triple a, triple a, triple So working those triplets within that scale is super, super, super helpful. And if you're digging all these lessons, or this stuff I'm talking about, and you notice that my hat's bigger than normal, then you're onto something. You have good perception. But no, check out that pinned comment right there, and I've got my beginner lead guitar bundle that goes through all this stuff. It does start with the 1-note solo, but then goes all the way through this stuff, the blues scale, the triplets. Another thing is you want to learn licks, and that's like learning little vocabulary words that you can, put into your sentences, little phrases that will help you give you context for the soloing you want to do. One of my favorite licks that I taught people, but it's also because it's a lick I learned that helped me so much. Because when we first start playing the scale, you kind of go linear, like up and down the scale. This lick I learned forced me to do this little the sale's going to end on Monday, so you have until Monday. So for the price of 3 eggs, you can get that 20 hours of guitar instruction. The price of a 3-pack of eggs, right there. So if I go to the G string 14th fret and I go 14, 12, 14, then I go to the 12th fret B string like this. Well, here's the trick. I roll my finger over, so I'm on the 12th fret B, but then I go over to the 12th fret G. And that's the thing you don't really learn when you're first just going up and down the scale, are those little next door neighbor things, or I call it next door neighbor. And right? So that's like one of the, once you get the scale, you learn the scale a little bit. That's one of the first like phrases I would teach you. I taught that so many times. You know, even before I was on YouTube ever, and I was just teaching guitar, I taught that lick many, many times, hundreds of times. Adam Jones says, and I think he's just saying this, so I shout him out, but I guess I am guilty, or he got his way. Adam Jones says, this is pre-recorded, definitely. So the only way that that could happen is if Adam Jones and I were in on that, and we had a time synchronization where at exactly 3:45, he's going to type in live that this is definitely pre-recorded live to time in cahoots with me that at a certain timeline in the video I'm going to say that, so it will seem like it's live. Does that make sense? Mickey Mouse Plus House says, hey, first time catching a live stream. That would have had to have been pre-coordinated as well to line up with him saying that live and me saying that. Yeah, Adam Jones, I fell for it. But hey, it was fun. Yeah, huge shout out Stanley, Tim Stanley. Guitars for Vets. How about a shout out for Guitars for Vets with the number 4, a great cause. Anything that can make a veteran's life better, easier, or to show that we appreciate them is a good cause. And Guitars for Vets is perfect because this is a guitar channel right now, and we're giving a huge shout out and recognition to Guitars for Vets. So yes, huge shout out to you guys. The Last Time by the Stones. I don't know that one off the top of my head. Let's see some CCR. Play Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Oh, real quick. If you are paying attention right now, I do have that lead guitar beginner bundle right there in the pinned comments. And that's on sale, more than 50, I think 75% off right there for you guys. I've always been curious about playing lead guitar. Maybe you were too intimidated, or you only played rhythm, or told yourself you could never play lead guitar. That's definitely the bundle to get, and it's 75% off for you guys. It's the egg special, the 3 egg, quarter dozen egg special right there. And that's going to end on Monday. But while I've got your attention that you're watching right now, let me know in the comments the greatest band or artist piece of merch that you've ever seen or bought. You know, if you go to a concert and the artist is not, I can't even, I'm going to show you my favorite, but I'm trying to think who, like, what artist or band or singer, or like, I mean, you know, I don't know that much about Taylor Swift, but I imagine she probably has like all kinds of crazy clever merch, or like, you know, Rolling Stones have the lips, so they could have probably some clever lips thing. Obviously the Beatles have always had all this great merch. Oh yeah, here's one of the most clever. I'm going to show you my favorite. But I think one of the most clever, and the Beatles did it, but Elvis did it. Elvis sold "I Hate Elvis" buttons because he was so famous and so big that there's always a counter backlash to something that's popular. And so instead of allowing someone else to make a thing that said "I hate Elvis," well, really his manager, just went ahead and made it themselves so they could cash in on that little percentage that hated how famous Elvis was. So they hated Elvis. So Elvis actually made an "I Hate Elvis" button and t-shirt that they sold. So, Chaitanya Sharma said, "Hey Marty, how do I stop getting your emails?" You don't want to stop getting my emails, but no. Actually, I would love for you to stop getting my emails, because if you don't want them, I don't want you to get them. How about that? It's real simple. Any of those emails you get, you just scroll down to the bottom. The little thing says, "I don't want to receive these emails anymore." And you click unsubscribe, and then you don't get the emails anymore. I don't want you to get them. In fact, you're doing me a favor by doing that, because if you don't want them, then it's a waste of the bandwidth it takes for me to send them. So you're actually doing me a huge favor if you were to just go there and click on that unsubscribe at the bottom of your email. But it concerns me that you wouldn't know that. What else don't you know? Because that's pretty, in 2025, it's pretty common to know that, one, you chose to subscribe to the emails. I didn't trick you. And two, you always have the option to unsubscribe, and I want you to do it. Basic info. Okay. My first concert with the Go-Go's, but real quick. No, my feelings weren't hurt by that. I legitimately want him to unsubscribe. Or him or her. I don't know if that was a him or her. Your favorite merch, best merch. And the only reason I ask is I'm about to show you one that I think is the most clever ever. I just rhymed. The most clever ever. Favorite merch: Nirvana, Led Zeppelin, Mudhoney, Rolling Stones, Beatles, Elvis, Beach Boys. Some of those, like the Led Zeppelin designs on the t-shirts, were just so epic. Honestly, Grateful Dead is pretty amazing at it. I'm sure a lot of it's not even sanctioned by them, but the whole tie-dye thing, the steal your face, all the dancing bears, the logos, all that. Okay, so Carrot Top in '96. I don't know what that means, but best sub $1,000 guitar. Well, we're gonna have to wait on that, because I don't even know what guitars are gonna cost right now. If it was a week ago, I could have had a good answer. I can't answer that right now. No, I know who Carrot Top is. Everyone has an AC/DC shirt. That's so true. It's clean. It's iconic. AC/DC with the lightning bolt in the middle. Marty, not gonna lie, you're carrying my music grades on your back. Because of you, I got a 96% on my music test. Practical test. Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be able to do that. Chibson price soars. Yes. Yeah, so you're talking about like the logo. In my other studio in San Diego, I had just a bunch of fun little tchotchkes, I guess is what you call them. And I'm a sucker for tchotchkes. I'm a sucker for tchotchkes. Yeah, Chaitanya Sharma. I was just having a little fun with the way I was describing the unsubscribe thing. Honestly, like someone that doesn't want my emails, I legitimately, with all my heart and soul, don't want you to receive my emails if you don't want them. In those emails, it's not always just asking you to buy something. I send links to a bunch of helpful resources. I go through different topics. I might pick, I have a beginner sequence. So if you're a beginner, there's I have 4,000 videos out. So in that email sequence, if you have said you're a beginner, once a week I'll send you like, here's how to tune your guitar, and it's free. It's a free resource. Or here's the first 3 chords you should learn. Here's some great strumming patterns if you want to learn blues. Here's the first thing I think you should do in the blues. So it's a way to help you organize, to be on the right track. And so that's a huge part of my emails. It's not always asking you to buy something. So if you're at a point in your journey where you don't want to receive any emails, you already can play guitar, or you already bought the thing, or you're never going to buy a thing, or you don't want my helpful tips that help organize things, then yeah, I want you to unsubscribe. I don't want to send emails to people that don't want it. That just alienates you. So no, I'm not offended at all. A couple people were like, "Oh, Marty's feelings are hurt." No, they're not. They're not hurt. I have, 500,000 people on the email list. And so I definitely don't want to be bugging people that don't want to receive those. Okay, check this out. Can you see it? Okay, oh wait, here, I'll play the... copy claimed here. Okay, check this out. This is the Ozzy Osbourne bat. Ozzy Osbourne bat. Oh, it's not. It wasn't on perfect, but the Ozzy Osbourne bat, right? And it's really cute too, huh? But check it out. Is that not the most clever marketing and piece of merch you've ever seen? An Ozzy Osbourne plushie bat that's really cute, but with a rip-off head, because, if you didn't know, he's got the, like... Did he actually bite the head off of a bat for real? I think he bit a head off a chicken. And I think, maybe someone threw a bat on stage and he thought it was a rubber bat and he bit the head off, but it was a real bat. I don't know. The more like legendary it sounds, the better for him and his brand or whatever. But this is literally an Ozzy Osbourne plushie bat with bite off head. And when I saw this, I don't know, somehow I think I saw an ad for it in my, Instagram one day maybe, or Facebook, or I don't know, some ad for this, and the algorithm chose me and won that day. Because once again, like, I used to think that like the ads I saw, or an email ad for some product or something that 20 years ago, I was like, oh, I never would buy from an email, or I would never buy from an ad that was shown to me on Instagram, right? But it's not true. You just don't buy every single one. Every blue moon, one grabs your attention. If I'm a musician, guitar teacher, guitar player, and somehow the ad came up in Instagram for an Ozzy Osbourne rip-off head, Velcro, with the red too, the blood red head rip-off, then it's kind of the most amazing, clever piece of merch I think that any band has ever done, right? I had said in a short Has anyone made more epic riffs than Led Zeppelin? And I still believe the answer is no, because the only one that came close, and a lot of people argued with me that it was Tony Iommi. Now, Tony Iommi, his riffs are legendary and so iconic, and they're the best riffs ever, best guitar riffs ever. But my question was, who's written more? Led Zeppelin's written more iconic riffs, maybe not better than Black Sabbath, but just more iconic riffs than Black Sabbath. Just more, not better. I mean, no one's more iconic than Tony Iommi. Tony Iommi. It just rolls off the tongue so amazingly. Tony Iommi. You know, and you can even sound kind of brain fried like Ozzy back, you know, in his heyday. Tony Iommi. So yes, he wrote the most iconic riffs, but Led Zeppelin had more. Like if I could play so many Zeppelin riffs just off the top of my head, and I would run out quicker on Black Sabbath riffs and Ozzy riffs too. And AC/DC too. Like, yes, the best. AC/DC's one, you know, they're in contention for best rock band of all time. AC/DC, yes. Led Zeppelin had more. I didn't say better, but more. Yes, AC/DC, amazing riffs. So iconic. So many of them, but not as many as Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin also had iconic acoustic riffs, iconic electric riffs, iconic 12-string riffs. Just more than AC/DC. I know that's crazy, but more of them. Not better, but more. Metallica's up there too, but Zeppelin had more, not better. I love it though. I agree. Metallica, I mean, so many, so many. But Led Zeppelin had more. Avenged Sevenfold definitely didn't have more. And Guns N' Roses didn't have more, because Led Zeppelin had so many more albums than Guns N' Roses. Now, yeah, I don't know, like even for one album, Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, every single song is an epic riff. Every single song. Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, every song. Every single song. Even like, you know, AC/DC's Back in Black, not every song on Back in Black is an iconic epic riff. They're all great songs. But literally Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, every single song is one of those like guitar store iconic riffs. And I love all your comments because I'm not disagreeing. Like, those are all amazing. Like the Smiths, Johnny Marr, he's a later. I mean, I always knew the Smiths, and like being in high school, they were clearly like the emo kids that were into that, and I was not part of that. But like as a guitar player, someone who analyzes riffs, guitar, Johnny Marr is amazing. Rolling Stones does not have more riffs. Hate to say it. They don't. And I know this because I've taught, you know, I've made 4,000 guitar lesson videos just on Marty music. So not even the stuff I did before Marty music, because we had to compile all of my content. Now it is including shorts and reels, so there is some duplicates. But I literally have over 4,000 videos just on Marty music. Doesn't include Facebook, Instagram, or stuff I did before Marty music. So 4,000 of them. So that means I've taught the top 10 Rolling Stones riffs. I've taught even more Led Zeppelin, AC/DC. I've taught them all. Rolling Stones is, you know, one of the greatest bands of all time. They're up there in argument for the best band of all time. But iconic guitar riffs, Led Zeppelin has the most. I mean, I would say Beatles are the best band of all time. So that's a different argument. I'm just talking about iconic. The most iconic riffs is Led Zeppelin. I think the best band of all time is the Beatles. The best songs written are the Beatles. But not every Beatles song is like one of those iconic, you know, riffs. Um, Huge shout out, and I'm going to wrap up here. And by the way, my live streams, I pick a topic and I really focus on that topic for at least 30 minutes of the live stream. And then once that 30, you know, because I can see the clock here, and we've gone for over an hour now. Once the 30 minutes of that very specific topic, today was beginner soloing, 75% off the beginner lead guitar bundle up there. But once the half hour is done, I've like completed the promise of the title. I know some people are tuning in late and they're like, what's going on? This is just random talking. Yes, because you can only do that in a live stream. I can't do that in a normal, YouTube video. It's got to be very specific promise of the title and all that. So, but in a live stream, which is every Saturday, 1 o'clock Pacific time, I do pick a topic. I really focus on that topic, like if it was like a master class or like a live clinic, and I focus on that topic for 30 minutes. When the 30 minutes is up, if that topic still feels right, I keep doing the topic. If I see some comment that sparks some other conversation, then I do that. And so we're already an hour in, so this is all just kind of the free-for-all. Travis Jones with the $20 super chat, thank you so much. That gives me the egg duo, the 2-pack egg pack for $20. Someone said, do Sweet Child of Mine. I can't do that one. Best Eagles solo. I mean, it's got to be Hotel California. It's the first one that came to my mind. I am the Eggman. I am the Eggman. I am the Walrus. Sprinkles VR, thank you. Let's see, the editor. Got an electric guitar for Christmas. I've been looking at your videos and you're great. Thank you so much. Rick Pennington with the $10 super chat. Well, I guess that's one egg, isn't it? That would be one egg. Here's a great Beatles underappreciated Beatles riff. I'm going to wrap up here, but I will give you guys some shout outs. A taste of honey, tasty, but sweeter than wine. Good thing I'm not a singer. Good thing this isn't a singing YouTube channel. Tribute by Tenacious D. Love the D, one of my favorite bands ever. Shout out to Jack Black and Kyle Gass. Lava, lava, tasty, lava. Jonathan Hazlitt, goo gajoo, yes. Damien Gonzalez, this is a great comment. Harrison's probably the best Beatle. Well, you know what? You could be right. That's how amazing they are. There's no way to even pick your favorite, because you'll have a favorite, and then all of a sudden you'll see one of the other ones highlighted features, song or riff or personality. And you go, wait, no, Ringo's my favorite, right? I mean, Ringo's amazing. As a drummer, he's amazing, but his personality is amazing. Ringo is so amazing. He's so funny, so likable. A lot of his little sayings became some of their most famous lyrics, like 8 days a week, hard day's night. Those are little Ringo-isms, right? His drumming is phenomenal. His tambourine playing is phenomenal, which sounds funny, but I'm not joking. And his maracas, I mean, he's the man. Ringo is the man. And he's the only one that starred in a caveman movie. Ron Hall, thank you for the super chat. Tunis Vandenhoff. Love Ringo Starr, says Matt Tutski. Humphrey Humpinski. Hot Tamales. He's an amazing drummer. Agreed. Dave First. I completed this course, Marty, at my own pace, and it brought me up to a whole new level. Now working through your lead guitar lessons, feel like I'm becoming a monster. Thank you, and I did not pay that guy to say that. That's not my mom secretly posting that. I swear. And happy birthday, Mom. Meg. Dude, bar chords are so hard because I can't separate my middle finger from my pointer. Go to Marty Music, martymusic.com. There's a section called Free Courses. I have an entirely free course on bar chords. And I've gotten amazing feedback on how much that's helped people try and learn bar chords. And I believe the feedback. And also the feedback and the way I taught that course was from years of teaching people one-on-one and figuring out how to get people to play bar chords with real people. And also from my own experience of being challenged myself as a beginner on how to play bar chords. This hat's bigger than any hat I've ever had. This is Bellissimo is the company, and they sent this hat to me. It's, I guess, I mean, they didn't pay me to wear the hat, but they sent it to me, and I put it on. So I guess that's an endorsement of some kind. It's not a money endorsement, but Bellissimo hats, they gave me this hat. I can see it in the screen. It's bigger than the hat, any hat I've ever worn, as far as the brim goes farther out. So I would say another 10 years, maybe I'll go 2 or 3 more inches out. And then pretty soon it won't fit in the screen if I'm still doing this. But I'm 17 years in. Well, I stop now. Darius Darden, I don't know what you're referring to. Guitar Guy, what up, Marty? Thanks for teaching me Metallica a while back. You're welcome. Organized Chaos, what's up? Dave First, thank you. Ron Hall. Nashville has some of the best hat shops around. Greg Levinson, Sombrero. Cooper Daly, hey, I love you, Marty. I love you more, Cooper. And I love your mother. That sounded like a diss. I mean, thank you. I'd like to thank your mother for having you. Rick Pennington, play some Zeppelin songs. I don't know, it's been going so well, I don't want to like get the video claimed by the copyright police. If I have a stream not going well, I'll do a bunch of Zeppelin for you next time. Favorite Metallica songs? Everything from Master of Puppets is epic. Sanitarium. I'm just not good at Metallica. I'm like Allman Brothers, Beatles, Grateful Dead, James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone, The Meters, Rolling Stones, Allman Brothers, I say that, Rolling Stones. And so when I play Metallica, even though I mean, Metallica is one of the greatest bands of all time. In any category. I just play so much more of a like classic rock, funk, soul thing. And when I play Metallica, it's not my strongest suit. Flash Gamer 99. I definitely can't down pick as fast as Metallica does. Keanu Hepburn. Recommend a Strat or a Tele for rhythm playing. Strat or Tele? Seems controversial because I would say Strat. Seems like true Fender traditionalists would always say Tele. Like it's cooler. It's definitely cooler to say Tele. But I would say Strat. Ted Fitzgerald. See, there's someone said Tele. Canyon Van Sant. Marty, you're the reason I can play guitar. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, the last year has been a little challenging for various reasons that I won't get into. Professionally, personally, everything. So it's very nice to get a comment like that and remember, you know, that you're real people out there. Andrew S. Been watching for the last 11 years. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It really means a lot to me. Meg, hey, so I've tried making a password that says I don't have access. Well, if you sign up for the newsletter, Meg, that's great. If you can email Marty at martymusic.com, and that'll go through my system, and if you have any customer support issues, I'll definitely help you out with that. Hayden Larimer, thank you. Josh Norco, Josiah Reno, Kevin Vega, you're the reason I learned my first ever riff. Thank you so much. Eric Coffee, thank you so much. Slick, thank you. Leslie Valley, how do you go that level where you add hard chords like dominant, 11, 9? Just start with the easy stuff and you just add one little extra little piece of information at a time so you don't get overwhelmed. Harry Wilson, can you do some Guns N' Roses? No, you know, this really sucks. Because I did all the biggest Guns N' Roses lessons. And, you know, this really sucks. Guns N' Roses lawyers contacted my team and threatened to sue me. This is like at least 5 years ago now. And they were really big bullies. And they were really nasty. And I had to take all my Guns N' Roses videos down and to promise that I would never play or teach Guns N' Roses ever again. And I had to give them money too. So that sucked. So you have Guns N' Roses to thank for that. Ever hit a wall where you lost motivation? Yes, I think everyone does. And sometimes you just do need to take a break and wait for inspiration to come back. No one's forcing you. You know? If you've lost your motivation, that means that you are not motivated. And no one's saying you have to be motivated. You can take a break and then come back. Dirt Bike Dude, hi. I mean, I love Guns N' Roses, and I met Slash, and Slash was so freaking cool, so awesome, super nice, and like so respectful and nice to me. He has nothing to do with the thing I'm talking about. Slash could care less, you know. He doesn't deal with any of that business stuff. Has nothing to do with him. Slash would probably love for me to teach his riffs, you know. So I don't hold it against Slash. It's really just business. And that just happens sometimes. There's a lot of other great bands I can still teach. Sympathy for the Devil solo is not very hard. It's really good though. Okay, yeah, Red House Blues, I have a lesson for that. You can check that out. This is a great live stream, so we're gonna wrap it up now. But I'll just looking at your comments. Let's see. because of that. Thank you. What? Thank you. Oh, calm down, everyone. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. No. You're all worthy. You're all worthy. I promise. Anyway, thank you again, you guys, for supporting Marty Music. Let's keep enjoying guitar. Appreciate your support so much today, especially. And I do have that lead guitar beginner bundle. If you've ever thought about playing lead guitar, we're always intimidated or just never thought you could do it. That's 75% off. Ends on Monday at midnight. And happy birthday, Mom. Appreciate you guys so much. I don't know how long you've been watching. My hat's getting bigger. My beard's getting grayer. But I'm still here. I still love helping you guys. And yeah. That's it. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Is that the saying? Appreciate you guys. Next Saturday at the same time, we'll pick another topic and we'll see you then. Appreciate you.